Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty relaxed.
Fallon's gonna take great care of y'all. She's awesome.
So far, we've enjoyed our experience.
Good.
Because the
Wasn't
first time
sure what to
it
expect.
didn't go so well.
No.
And then we get to be like,
Wow.
because something bad happened.
This man went first and started petting it like a dog, and it
Okay.
bit him, and then nobody else got to hold it.
I got you.
Yeah, 'cause once that happens, it's over.
Yeah. That was here or?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No, Mississippi. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent money for gas, hotel.
Yeah.
$300 for us to hold him.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. And so they didn't refund any of that. It was just.
No. I let him know about it.
Yeah.
Sue him.
No, you can't do that.
Be Karen.
I mean, no, we're not gonna do it.
Nice, sweetie.
Our little sloths are love to be held,
Oh.
and especially Dash. I say that Dash and Zoe both. They a lot of times they don't want you to put them down. They just hold me.
Zoe's another baby.
She is
She's
16
grown.
months old now, a little over a
Okay.
year. Yeah. But she's kind of a little diva. She loves to be held and hand fed. I always say we just need the little pom-pom fan for her, and then her life will be complete because she gets everything served to her on a little silver platter.
That explains why the name Zoe's on there.
Yep, that's Zoe's little board.
Yes. I'm glad you're here. Sit out for Jonah.
Yeah, life's a little easier in here. Harrison's two-toed sloth, so there's two different types of two-toed. The Linnaeus two-toed are gonna have a little bit darker color. He's dark right now because he's a baby, that's his baby coloring. But his face will stay darker-ish, and then the rest of his body will be a little bit more, quite a bit more blonde. You can see his blonde hair is starting to grow in now, and it'll just keep getting more and more. When we first got him, he was all chocolate brown and didn't have any little blonde hairs on him at all. And his hair was really like silky, glossy. It was a lot different than the adult hair. So it's interesting to see them mature and get older and change.
And I assume he'll get bigger like the full grown
Oh, yeah.
sloths that we've seen, and it's the same type,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, I'm not sure which ones he saw
Well,
before.
right, of course, but
Yeah, so but he's a baby. He's like 8 months old, so 9 months.
how long does it take for them to like get past that baby?
So they reach full maturity around 3 years. So he's still got a little ways to go.
How many times do you get fed a day?
So because he's a baby, we do smaller. So scheduled is always morning and night, so twice a day. But he'll always have a snack throughout the day when we kind of notice his behavior that he's acting hungry. So that's a little bit more as needed as he's like snacky. I would put my arm.
Yeah, we went, what was that zoo in Gulf Shores? When we went there, they had a sloth exhibit, but you couldn't touch them, I don't think.
No.
Or couldn't hold them, but
But you could get up close.
you get up close.
See them.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. Someone went somewhere else, maybe me and Stella when we went to Las Vegas, maybe. Or it was either there or up in Gatlinburg.
That's the only other thing I remember was behind glass.
Yeah. I don't remember where that was. You gonna go see? Victoria?
Oh, goodness.
Jamie been waiting.
Did you say we're gonna pull two different sloths today or just this one?
Just
Okay.
this one. I was
You
saying
were just saying you have too little.
we have
Yeah, it's two different.
we have three sloths. What I was saying is there's two different types of two-toed sloths. We just have the one species, which is the Linnaeus two-toed sloth. But yeah, you guys just have Dash.
We go cookie.
A lot of people ask if we trim their toes or their nails or anything like that, and we don't. Reason why is underneath their nail is actually bone, so it'd be equivalent to this portion of our hand. So this would be their nail versus our nail is, dead material that grows out. But it would actually be, this would be their nail, so it's, it would be very painful to do that.
So they don't have fingers?
That is their finger.
Oh.
So this is their finger, it just happens to have that hard nail over the top of their fingers. That is their finger.
So, that like makes it where it's easier for them like to grip trees and stuff.
Yeah, and so that's what they do is when they're eating, let's say, they use their fingers as like a hook, and so they'll hook the branch and they'll just kind of pull it in and then eat the branches right off of the limb, but they don't necessarily pick it. They don't use their fingers how we would to grab things. They're using it to grab branches, to pull them in, or to climb, and that's really about the extent of it. But they're not using it to grab and pick things up like a monkey or like us.
He poops about once a month, once a week.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty bad.
he actually poops less often than the other two. He's always done that. And Zoe is a lot more regular. She's like once a week.
Yeah.
And so it's a pee and poo. It is separate, but that's like it all comes out at once. They don't pee during that week at all. It's just all at one time. Yeah. So when she does go, it's like waterfall.
Yeah.
Tatum recorded her peeing for like 2 minutes straight, and it's like, when is this gonna stop?
So they like to drink water?
Not really.
Not really.
So they get their water from their food content, and then like in the wild it's gonna be, like condensation on the leaves and stuff like that. But they don't necessarily seek out water. And so they're getting their water just really from their food. And that's a part of their survival too, because the more that they stay up in the trees, the safer they are. Well, there's not necessarily puddles of water up there. And so they have adapted to not need water like other mammals in order to survive. And they also exert very little energy. So they're not consuming a lot of calories in the wild, and they're also not burning a lot of calories. So they just kind of, their strategy in life is just to get by, fly under the radar, if you will, and not exert themselves and not have to work very hard to eat to keep themselves alive either. So you got about 5 minutes, and then we'll switch to the next person. Yeah, I'm trying. Sometimes I get distracted.
Right. Doing a video.
I think
Take you home. That's it. Just to relax for both.
I did get a couple pictures.
Videos.
Thank you. You're so perfect.
so I can see your face.
So when he leans back like that, just make sure not to touch him underneath his neck, because he will very quickly react to that in a negative way. Everybody, like when a cat rolls over on the back and you just want to rub them. And so the people are like so tempted. I'm like, don't do it.
We don't want to make him mad.
So when they do that, just don't do anything.
Yep.
For that penny, something needs a setback.
Don't boop his nose. Don't put him under the neck.
I know. I'm smart. I can see everything.
Look, when you go back to school, you can tell by your color Sloth.
He seems hungry. He's moving.
No, I might forget. I might forget after like 2 or 3
No.
months.
No, you're not going to forget. I'm going to remind you.
Take lots of pictures so you have memories of it.
Sweetheart. Thank you for being a good boy.
Yeah, who wants to go next? Here we go.
So this is your first one, actually. Sloth.
Benton. We got the big one, remember,
Right.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's it. Didn't get to hold it. Maybe next time I come, I'll get to hold it.
Yeah, there's not too many places where you can actually hold them.
Right. Yeah.
I read somewhere it's like it ain't good to hold them. And other places let you hold them, so.
Yeah. So it's, yes and no with the holding. When you see on the internet or, I don't know, sloth resources, whatever, stuff like that, and they say holding a sloth is stressful, and I would agree. When you have a sloth that was not raised by hand and is a wild sloth.
Right.
So just because they're in captivity still doesn't mean they like to be
Right.
held. So our adult sloth, Flash, he's 6 years old. He's never been held in his life.
Yeah.
And he would not want to be held. He doesn't reach for people at
Yeah.
all. So that would
This
be
is all
very
they
stressful.
know.
That's all they know.
It's not so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
So, and the other thing too, like Costa Rica, for example, there's sloths, and it's actually a law now that you can't hold sloths. It's illegal because people there, low income, see an easy
Oh.
income of being, you have these tour ships. What am I trying to say? Like Carnival.
Yeah, the
Oh,
cruise
yeah, the
ship.
cruise ships.
Cruise ships,
and
there you go.
everything,
I think
like
my
port
friend-
Coming into
everything.
port and they see a sloth on the roadside stand that they can hold, well, holy cow, that's easy money.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
not
they
safe-
just
necessarily safe though.
no, and so they just snatch a sloth out of the wild,
Yeah.
dip it in bleach so it kills all of the bugs and so it doesn't smell,
Oh, no.
and then put it on the roadside stand and go, oh, you can hold the sloth. Well, heck yes, that sloth is going to be terrified and stressed and all of that stuff. So when you see articles about that, that's what's going on
Yeah.
out and about. And so we feel like it's our responsibility to be able to create a safe environment that you can have a once in a lifetime experience, but also educate at the same time. That any time that you see like something on the side of the road like that, that it is not a hand raised sloth, it's
Yeah.
wild, and that you should not, gonna support those at all. A sloth, like a licensed sloth rescue out of the country, cool. You know, but it's a little different, so. Alright.
Alright, we'll let you move
Yeah,
in, 'cause I'm
5
not
minutes on the dot.
Ready to go next
So what I'll
one?
do is, I'm gonna put my hand kind of underneath him, and he will grab onto my arm, and then his back legs will eventually come over to my arm.
Oh, look at it.
There we go.
Good job, buddy.
Remember just the back of the neck, okay? Not
Yeah.
the head or face, not the rest of the body.
So I'm gonna put him on your chest, just like I did with her. So I'm gonna put his little booty, and then you just hold him like this, and then he'll kind of peel off and come onto your chest when he's moving. So just put your hands underneath his booty there. Go
How
ahead.
do you lift your hands up?
Yep. No. Put
She's
on
not
his
gonna put
button.
all the,
There you go. And then when he kind of feels safe, he will come off on you.
Oh, look at there.
probably not too far from the back.
No, around the neck, baby.
Yeah, you're doing good.
It's like his ties are getting tight around me.
So their sense of smell is really, and you're welcome to get up and move around and take pictures, like you're not gonna bother Flat, or at the Ash Doll if you want to hit a different angle or anything. Sloths have an excellent sense of smell. So he knows my smell, and back like that, sometimes he's smelling me over here.
Oh, he put his little arm around you, Penny.
Sounds like a whole bunch of ruckus out here.
This way.
Hey, don't put your hands in his cage. Do not do that.
Now, look at me.
I want to look at the cute sloth.
Hi. You don't make a face at Granny.
Well, she's excited.
I want to look at the sloth.
I want to do her canvas just like that.
I know, right?
That's what you look at me.
Don't kiss it.
Yeah, don't be.
I don't like that.
He is. He's a very good boy. And Zoe is very similar. She's just very relaxed like that. She's a little bit more animated. She just has a little bit more personality to her.
So where does he stay at when he's
So, he stays up at John and Donna's house.
Oh.
He has an enclosure there in their bedroom.
Oh.
And you say, however, living with a sloth is not my cup of tea.
Oh, it's not.
I'll explain why. A lot of people are like, oh, I can have a sloth for a pet, and I'm like, no, you don't want one.
Yeah, especially when you have about 7 chihuahuas at home.
Yeah, that would not be
Do
good.
it
Definitely
all.
not.
Take care of him.
So the first thing that usually people are like, no, I can't do it, is you need to keep your bedroom 80 degrees and at least 50% humidity.
A little bit vicious. So if he doesn't know anyone, he can get scared, and his claws are very sharp as well as his teeth. Now, Coda's not going to try and attack anyone. However, if you have any jewelry at all or anything in your pockets, rings, bracelets, anything like that, Coda will absolutely try. That's why I emptied my pockets before I picked him up. He will sniff around everything, and he's very territorial, so if he takes anything from you and you try to get it back, it will end very, very poorly for you. In fact, one of my very, very good friends, I was out playing with him, and he dropped his phone and went to pick it up, and my friend ended up going to the hospital. So he got like 8 stitches in his hand. So he is generally very friendly, but he's very territorial, and he can be a little unpredictable. So we just don't let people pet him just in case. We don't want anyone to get hurt.
Is it a marsupial?
So Coda is not a marsupial. Coda's a mammal. He's a cousin of the raccoon. He's not related to the anteater at all. However, a lot of people say he looks like an anteater with his nose. And it does serve the same function. He does use that to dig and root things up and look for bugs and things of that nature. Like raccoons, coatimundis have lots of different types of diets, so he'll eat just about anything he can get his hands on, from bugs to smaller animals, even birds if he was able to catch them. And one of his favorite things in the wild would be to climb up trees and look in nests for eggs, and he would eat eggs. So if you look at Coda, he has these sharp claws that are used for climbing. His feet can rotate completely 180 degrees, so he can run up and down the tree at the same impressive speed. He's currently checking if I have anything in my pockets, which I do not. But if I did, he would try and take it from me. Here in captivity, Coda eats his diet. Literally, all of our animals have very specific. You see sheets like this, they have very specific diets for each animal. But Coda's diet sheet literally says anything that you can eat. So coatimundis can eat pretty much anything that a human can eat with no adverse effects, just like raccoons. What?
Junior bacon cheese with a small.
So we will give them cheeseburgers. We've given him pizza. He loves pizza. But also, like humans, they have unique taste buds. So we have a breeding pair of coatimundis in the other cage. And there are certain things that he loves and they don't like, and there are other things that they don't like and he loves, like chili mac, or things of that, for example. So, like I said, he loves to steal things from you. Anything that he can get his hands on, he will take from you. We're trying to teach him what the Rolex symbol looks like, but it's a work in progress. If anyone has one they want to donate, it will go straight towards that purpose and that only, I can assure you. But Coda's a pretty interesting little guy. He's very friendly to me, especially because when we got Coda, he was about the size of my hands. And we feed him little bottles 3 times a day, and he'd sit in your lap. And Coda actually lived in the house for a long time. And the end of him living in the house was Coda's favorite thing to do was grab things and run to the top of the staircase and chuck them off the terrace-like thing. Coda, get out of my shoe, bro. Coda, quick. And see what made the loudest sound. So sunglasses, phones, bowls he found on the kitchen counter, straight off the 2nd story. So that was the end of Coda being in the house, which he was never supposed to stay in the house full time anyway. But they are a little reckless and unpredictable, but they are cute. So that is Coda. Kevin, do you mind getting Baku?
Yep.
How did you
Come here,
get
Coda. We got him at an exotic animal auction. Come here, buddy.
You need a special license for an animal like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to get that when I grow up.
Gotta get your license.
I want a baby fox.
What's the type of animal is that?
Well,
That was his name is Coda. What type of animal is that?